Hi everybody and welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Now imagine my surprise this morning. I've got an email here from the Queen and she's asking if I can do a Pop-Tart recipe. Well, Your Majesty, I'm happy to oblige. I'll show you right now how to make Pop-Tarts on Steve's Kitchen. Now I have made Pop-Tarts before, but this is really quite a special occasion. It's not every day the Queen asks you to make Pop-Tarts. So I'm going to use all organic produce here. So into a bowl I'm going to sift a cup and a half of organic unbleached flour. And to that I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of salt. So I've sifted our flour into the bowl and I'm just going to add half a cup of organic unsalted butter. And I know Her Majesty will forgive me for using my fingers to just rub the butter and the flour together to a breadcrumb. I promise I have cleaned my hands. Now this is a Pop-Tart recipe, so we need a sweeter pastry. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of caster sugar, fine sugar, and just mix that through now. And now to add a richness to this pastry, I'm going to add 1 egg yolk. And I just want to add a tablespoon of chilled water. So that goes into the middle with the egg yolk. And then I'm just going to use a blunt knife. In this case it's a small palette knife, but I'm just going to cut that through to start to bind the pastry together. As it starts to bind, if you'll excuse my hands again, I'm just going to have to bind that together, Your Majesty, and bring that up to a nice dough. So now I have this beautiful, rich, sweet short crust pastry here that I'm just going to cover and pop into the fridge and let it settle for half an hour. Now guys, I'm pretty excited. While that was chilling in the fridge, I've had another message from the Queen, and she actually wants to come round and pick this Pop-Tart up in person. She's apparently heard that I'm making it. Now, that puts me under extreme pressure. I've got to make something that's just that little more special. So what I thought I'd do is make a larger Pop-Tart than normal, maybe 4 times the size. And because I know the palace has those great big toasters there, she'll have no problem getting it in. So what I'm going to do is prepare it on this baking sheet. I need to lay a little bit of flour down first because I'm going to be rolling it out on the sheet. I've got my pastry here, which is nice and chilled now. And I need to roll out the pastry as flat as possible. I'm going for sort of biscuit thickness. Now we're making a Pop-Tart for the Queen, so what better way than getting our sizes than using a ruler? Now I know the Queen loves strawberries, so I'm going to be using this homemade strawberry jam. And we want to place the strawberry jam on the centre of the Pop-Tart, leaving about 1 inch or so, 2.5 centimetres around the edge to join the top of the Pop-Tart. So I've got my strawberry jam in the centre there, and I'm just going to use a little egg wash around the edges. And you can see I've made a top over here, we're just going to pop that on top. And I'm just going to crimp around the edges with a fork. And now I just need to take the fork and prod some little holes in the top to let the air out as the Pop-Tart cooks. Now the reason I prepared this straight on the cookie sheet is so I can put my baking tray straight under. Now I've prepared an oven. It's 140 degrees Celsius, that's 275 Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake this on a very low temperature because we want it to not really cook through, but just to bake so it's ready to be used again in the giant royal toaster. Now there is my royal Pop-Tart out of the oven. You can see it's huge. I've got to leave it on the side to completely cool down before I decorate the top with a white frosting. Now my royal Pop-Tart has cooled down. It's ready to have the royal icing put on it. Now I wouldn't impose myself upon the Queen by telling her how to make a royal icing. But for those subjects and peasants watching, there is actually a recipe on my channel. Now there's the frosting on that Pop-Tart and it's starting to look like a real Pop-Tart. Now I'm just going to sprinkle some millions of billions over the Pop-Tart. They're very similar to hundreds of thousands, except for these come from Harrods and they're far posher. Now look at that guys, I'm really excited. That looks absolutely like a giant Pop-Tart and I've got to get on and crack on. I want to personalise this a little bit and I know the Queen is going to be calling any time now, so I'll just get on. Now I don't think it'll affect my chances of a knighthood if I just put a couple of kisses on there for the Queen. Just put that last, that'll be there now. Yep, this is the call I've been waiting for guys. Let's just see who it is. Hello? Hi? Who? Priscilla. The drag queen. Okay. Yeah. No, that'll be fine. Yeah, pop round. Yeah, I'm in. Okay, I'll see you then.